Dude, I wonder if like, and again, I don't know too much about like the Ilhan Omar's politics or whatever.
Oh,
but
Elon Omar? Is that who you're talking about?
Ilhan, or
Elon
something?
Omar.
You call her Ilhan Omar?
I call her that because that's her name. She's the representative from Minnesota.
I think whatever.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
Ilhan, I thought it was, but I guess I think that like
whatever it is, I don't like her.
So the point that I'm trying to make here is that like
is she a representative of America or Palestine?
Well, so great.
So, and she married her brother.
And it is what it is.
So you could do that.
I make is like some of us only have America. We only have this. So when you attack this, I'm going to defend it till the day I die. I love America more than anything in the entire world. It's the greatest country in the human existence. It's the greatest experiment in human existence, and it has succeeded. So we only have this. You have to find a way to communicate what you believe to be the shortcomings of America in a way that doesn't make us feel like you don't love it.
Totally.
So here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Maher going nuclear on Ilhan Omar. And this is not new, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people were pissed off at her behavior during Trump's State of the Union. A lot of Americans were pissed off that Democrats would not stand up for actual American citizens, even immigrants and even everybody else that is an American citizen feels like they're also being played. I'll explain to you what I mean by that. But here we have the main catalyst, Ilhan Omar, who embarrassingly invited a special guest to come and basically protest ICE with her. She happened to like literally be kicked out of the State of the Union. So apparently this woman was attacked by ICE, can't move, can't raise her arms. And apparently she decided to get up, move her arms, and get kicked out of the State of the Union. So breaking, U.S. Capitol Police arrested Ilhan Omar's State of the Union guest after she refused to stop standing and blocking others in the gallery during Trump's speech. This is the same deranged activist arrested in Minneapolis for using her car to block ICE agents' cars on the streets. These people are effed up in the head. No wonder they always end up violent. So apparently she got removed. This is what it looks like here. I'll play this little clip for you guys.
Is that this is an ongoing fear and threat for people around this country. What happened to me is absolutely not new in the history of this country, and we have not seen accountability that gives me any reason to believe this won't be done to somebody else. So that's what I'm thinking about today. And honestly, I'm glad that it's me sitting in that seat rather than somebody who's cheering for what happened to me.
So there you go. First of all, nobody's cheering for violence. Nobody's cheering for anything bad to happen to you. But she did decide to go and flat out get kicked out. Again, while having crutches and wearing all this stuff. That was Ilhan Omar's move against ICE. But again, Ilhan being the topic of conversation because she made herself be the topic of conversation. I'll show you guys her getting pressed here by a independent journalist. But we got to talk about what even sparked this. Well, what sparked this was Ilhan represents the damage done to Americans' goodwill and kindness, right? A lot of people, again, are realizing this is going too far. Take a listen to Trump going at Ilhan Omar at the State of the Union because Democrats are being extremely disrespectful to Americans. This is not me saying this. This is actual Americans literally saying this.
Yeah, I want all these people that sat down for what Trump said to be arrested for treason. There is no way y'all swore an oath to the Constitution to sit in one of these seats, but then have the nerve to look at the American citizens and say, yeah, we're not going to protect you or your home ground, but we're going to protect illegal aliens. It's screaming treason. It's screaming traitor. Every last one of y'all. I want y'all arrested. Just like how if a military man was to leave home and go to a third world country and then go, you know, I don't want to do this no more, and drop his gun and just walk away from his team, that's AWOL. You go to jail for that. Especially this bitch who was on the bridge of tears for being exposed in front of everybody. Look at this girl's face on the bridge of fucking tears. She definitely needs to be arrested. Her with Tim Wolf.
All right, so that tells you, and it gives you a glance of TikTok and the narratives online and the rejuvenation there for the Republicans over Democrats, who, again, I keep mentioning are projected to win the House and go and again try to impeach Trump and do all these things that they're promising their voters because they have pitched the idea that America is really bad. But again, I showed you guys the polls of what CNN even put out there, that a lot of Americans felt optimistic after Trump finished speaking. So let's go to the moment where Trump is literally talking to Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib. I want you guys to take a look at this.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So again, you have the USA chants. You have Ilhan Omar, who again earlier, Bill Maher was pissed off at Ilhan Omar for being anti-America. Andrew Schultz speaking about Ilhan Omar having an identity outside of the United States of America where she feels that she can just pile on shit on America instead of loving and embracing what America is. That is the reality that I feel like a lot of people have been seeing, including immigrants who love America. I mean, this conversation goes on and on and on. Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, I think there's a lot of people that love America and that they just hate, and they hate that idea. But here's what I'm talking about, right? When you talk about Ilhan Omar bringing the gas getting kicked out, all the shows and everything, she loves this. Let's be honest, right? The more attention, the better it is for politics nowadays. Unfortunately, that's just the way things operate. But here she is being pressured and questioned about hating America and hating white men while she's married to one. Take a listen.
Stated that the American people should be afraid of the white man. They should be fearful of the white man.
I never said that.
Yeah, you're on video saying it.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
No, I did not.
Yes, you.
Officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country. They're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So again, Trump calls them out for being, they should be ashamed of themselves. Also, Democrats are changing their tune when it comes to race. Remember, Don Lemon does this thing too. And look, Foundational Black America, shout out to them. They point this stuff out. They really have awakened a lot of people to look at these individuals cosplaying as the victims here against the white man while also going to go and marry the white man, right? They FBA's call it the what is it? Activists on the streets colonizing the sheets. I think that's the term that they use. Most of them are kind of like they have this attitude toward white men, white America, them being the problem, and then they go marry them, right? And that's where Ilhan Omar is at, and that's what a lot of people are realizing. So again, it did not go good for the Democrats. It really didn't. Here is John Fetterman, who is a Democrat, who wore a suit, who did shake Trump's hand, who had the entire left melting down over his politics. They want to replace this guy, by the way. They want to get rid of this guy so badly, but he collected 3 million views here on X, basically shaming Democrats for not standing up during some of the most important moments to show unity, even if you disagree with the office. And again, Democrats were not, like, there were like 76 Democrats that were missing in action. They weren't there, right? They didn't show up here. They protested this to have their own people's union, which failed miserably, by the way. They were dressed as turtles. It was like a troll event. I don't know what the Democrats were thinking by doing this, giving all this energy back to Trump. Well, here's John Fetterman saying the quiet part out loud about the left. Take a listen.
The rest of people in my party would stand up and clap for. I clapped with a lot of those things that it seemed like others. Like I stood up and I clapped to recognize the family that lost their daughter, the Ukrainian girl that was stabbed to death, in North Carolina. And I stood up and I clapped that political prisoner from Venezuela how you can't celebrate those kinds of things. And now I also celebrated all the veterans that were in the audience as well too, and even more the political things like Erica Kirk. I stood up and I clapped for her as well too. Now here, can't we just be more kind to a widow? I mean, we just shouldn't be that long ago that a widow, with young children has her husband murdered. How we can't just acknowledge that as well too. Wow. Whether white people would attack her, whether the left or the right either. So I'm always going to stand up and clap for things that I agreed with in, like striking the Iranian, sites. Now for me, I never worry about who's standing up or clapping. If I see it, I'm going to. If I don't agree with it or whatever, I'm certainly not going to yell and scream and disrupt the whole.
Respectable. Whether you agree with this man or not, with what he's saying, whether you agree with it, there's going to be people in the comments that don't agree. We're going to war with Iran. I'm one of those people. Do I want Iran to have a nuclear weapon? Probably, most likely not. When they chanting death to America, so I can understand that. That's another conversation for another day. But whether you agree with John Fetterman or not, his point being is he's not going to act like a kid if he doesn't agree. So, and he's going to stand up for things that are respectable to stand up. Now, this doesn't mean that previously, Republicans stand up for everything, because they didn't previously when Joe Biden was president. They didn't stand up for everything. There were some Republicans like Marjorie Taylor Greene that did yell at Joe Biden. So this is not new on both sides. But yesterday, going into the midterms for Democrats, this was the biggest mistake to do. It was the biggest mistake to do, and not stand up for things that really matter to other Americans. I mean, you had Americans, the unlikeliest, right? Because I know there's a lot of immigrants that watch me. I know. And there's a lot of white people that watch me. There's a lot of black. I would hope that there's a lot of black people that watch me. If you're black, comment down below, because they say you guys don't exist. But I know you do, right? 30% of me does, because I am 30%. You guys get where I'm going. But so comment down below. Where are you from? How much do you love America? Because they try to use you guys as they try to use immigrants. They try to use black people. They try to use the white progressives. They try to use people all along. They try to group you in this race thing that they try to play. But it just backfires. You want to know how it backfires? I found this clip. Right. This is why I say it backfires. Here's a white liberal, right? Here's one of the funniest clips, right? A white liberal, obviously Ilhan type of guy, versus a black woman who corrects him on the SAVE Act. This is after Trump's State of the Union. Take a listen.
The SAVE Act is very likely more aimed at voter suppression and at keeping key demographics that the Republican Party does not want voting to not show out and vote. I think very often minority demographics.
That's not true.
No. So this is the thing where the suggestion is it's going to keep the black vote down. I've got two black panelists here. Ajwa?
That's not true.
Do you have ID and proof of citizenship?
Yeah, and if I need a copy of my birth certificate, it's just a matter of going online or going up to the department and asking for it and showing my information to get it. I mean, to say that it would negatively affect a minority group because they're somehow not educated enough to get these documents is completely outrageous.
Annie?
Woo! You saw that kid's face. And look, he's just a guy. He's just a kid. I get it. But he thinks he's playing the savior thing. And I told you guys, look, I know people get mad at me. Maybe this is going to get clipped. Give me 1 million immigrants that love America, right? More than white liberals. Deport the liberals, right? Get rid of these guys. They don't love America. They bring nothing here. They literally don't work. All they do is protest all day. Listen, if we could legalize. Oh, maybe. No. I mean, you're not going to take that. I mean, if Trump woke up tomorrow and said, look, I'll give you guys all the citizens, just vote red. How fast do you think liberals will be anti-immigration tomorrow? Man, they're not going to be anti-illegal immigration. They're going to be anti-immigration. Now, look, if you're anti-immigration, kudos to you. I don't really care what you think. This is not the channel for you, I guess. But sometimes I feel like, man, these people, and this goes for every race that is in America that grows up with the opportunity. Sometimes, man, if I was a kid and they would have sent me over to another country to realize how blessed I was to live in the United States of America, I I'm glad that I didn't turn out to be one of those people. And I was very early on. You know, I was definitely captured by that crowd. But as older as I got, I'm like, man, what are we doing? And look, this is not to say that America is a saint. No, we are not. I talk about our monetary system. I talk about crony capitalism a lot. You know, there's definitely a lot of stuff about me that I empathize or sympathize with people on the left about. That's just me being a human. But voting left, bro, it's not an option no more. Unfortunately, it's just not. It's not saying Trump is perfect or Republicans are perfect. But man, when you look around, what do they really think about you? You know what I mean? What do they really think about you? What do they bring to the table? Politics is not agreeing with everybody. It's working with people that you normally don't work with, or seeing people in the middle that you normally don't see in the middle with on a lot of issues. And I feel like America used to be that, but unfortunately, it's just not that. You know, I noticed a lot of people, they see Obama and they see a sense of like, I wish those politics were real again. I wish we had a president that spoke with this tone and respect. You like that, but like, how many bombs did that dude drop? How many people did he kill? How many citizens did he kill? Like, that's the part that makes me mad. Is like, sometimes I wonder, people hate realism in politics because it's kind of just out there. This is what it is. It's corrupt. Everybody's corrupt. This is bad. Washington, insider trading, all these things are bad. But like, I think people don't like, they rather take that and not know about it than just to have a president that guess they like the way he speaks, while ignoring everything that politics has become in the United States of America. That's why Trump got elected. Just my opinion, by the way. All right, so yeah, you got Ilhan Omar, anti-America. I got one more clip I want to show you guys. I've been yapping this whole video, but man, this topic is really infuriating sometimes. Let's take a look here. Scott Jennings on CNN during this panel.
I think the part of the speech that's probably going to live on for most Republicans is when he asked the Congress, stand up if you think your duty is first to American citizens before illegal aliens. Republicans stood up. It gave him his most sustained applause for the night. I suspect, man, you're going to see this in a lot of campaign ads, that Democrats wouldn't stand up. What did you all think of the showmanship of that, or of sort of the spectacle of trying to get Democrats to stand up for that?
Well, I think the point, I think that you know, and it may have gotten a little muddled, but you know, in the showmanship, but I think his point is valid. Everybody in that room represents the citizens in this country. And are you doing your job? He should, you know, the governor asked, is Trump doing his job? Trump asked, are all of you doing your job?
But don't, I think the
yeah, so I love how they do these panels. This is amazing. You got Republicans and Democrats in the same room breaking down, seeing these things happen in real time. I do think these things are very good for politics. And you heard his opinion. I think the Democrats created a bunch of ads yesterday. I think a lot of people noticed and realized a lot of things yesterday that they probably didn't realize. I think a lot of people felt like they were probably in a bubble. Watching the Democrats reacted the way they did, man, they gave Trump all the ammo that he was looking for. Let's see what Republicans do with it. Republicans have an end problem already. They have a rhino problem. They have a huge problem already. But we'll see what the future holds in the United States of America. But when I think of identity politics, which is what's being played here, this is what the left loves the most. I think they lost the identity politics to Trump. I think they lost. Identity politics was lost. So let me know what you guys think. Look, there's a lot of people that have been watching this channel that do not agree with a lot of things I say, but they still watch. And I don't know what it is. I'm not trying to convince you or sway you. You could think or feel however you want. But I think a lot of people, when it comes to the Epstein files as well, remember the Democrats were screaming Epstein files. I've been screaming Epstein files for a very long time now. I think that's one of the craziest things that's ever happened. But like, I think a lot of people also realized that. They were like, yo, you know what? Like, these Democrats are using these victims. They're using the victims. They're using not only the victims, they're using these narratives. They think we're stupid. Like, you guys were not asking for this for 4 years. Why all of a sudden the change? Where are the policies at? And And by the way, that does not mean I don't think that the Trump administration flopped on that. Pam Bondi flopped. Kash Patel all over the place. Man, I was giving fair ratings to like people in the Trump administration. I was like, Marco Rubio is the guy for 2028. But anyways, I'm rambling on too much. We can have a conversation about this. But I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Let me know what you guys feel about all of this. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.